Hello, people. I just finished Ben 10 Season 2. Um, I, I think it's better than the first one. I will still try to explain spoilers, but for those who haven't seen the first season, there are going to be some spoilers here. Um, as for those who don't, so yeah, the first season was about for those again who don't know, it's a show about a kid named Ben who goes on a vacation with his cousin Gwen and his grandpa Max, and at some point comes across a watch called the Omnitrix, and that gives him the ability to turn into either 10, at this point 12 aliens. it, at first in the first scene I did not like Gwen. I mean Ben. But over time I ended up really liking how they portrayed him as a character for the most part. And they took in a lot, and now the second season I just finished, which is also 13 episodes like the first. So if you want to see the first season as well on whatever device you have or on YouTube, it's on some. Now there's different ways to get it on YouTube, but you can watch it. I mean, I recommend the first and second season. I think the second season is a much better improvement, even though there's still problems with it that I won't fully go into because it's just personal problems for me, and I'm not gonna try and do this as a just viewer of watching the show. I do want to make reaction videos instead of reviews, but I don't know how to do that yet. I need to learn. And I've already asked a couple times already. And I think that was a car outside. That was, if you've seen me in this video moving my head. Oh gosh, I'm making this so weird. But anyway, what I should probably talk about is, because I didn't talk about them in the other video, in the last video, was the side characters, especially Ben's cousin Gwen, and his grandfather Max. Without spoiling anything, they're both really good characters. I actually liked Gwen more than I did Ben at first. And Ben's a good character, but I really liked the humor and sarcasm and very smart character they made Gwen. Gwen wasn't just a damsel, even though she does have to be saved a couple times. The reasons make sense in the fact that she's human, while Ben has powers that no one else has. And Grandpa, spoilers, is an ex-alien hunter, also known as a plumber, and which is revealed at the end of the first season. But anyway, they're both really good characters that really help Ben and even help him learn these lessons that he has to learn in order to become not only kind of a good hero, but also learn to grow up more. He grows up with each episode, which I liked in this season. You don't just see him go back the same way, even though that's kind of what they do. He does learn from his mistakes, and you see the improvements each time in every episode. And it really does show him trying to improve, even though he's still like this egotistical. He has basically an ego still, and that's I'm pretty sure this is going to be something going on through the rest of the series. And maybe an alien force, I don't know, or Omnitrix, because I haven't got to those yet, but that seems like something that's going to be a conflict for him. It's the fact that and he's also still a kid, so it makes sense for him to go through these, lessons. Because he's still a kid, and he's still going to be selfish, as he's a kid. Kids can be like that. But if for a kid's show, it's still surprisingly good for a kid's show from that time period. Because, again, I mentioned what the time period could possibly be, as I don't fully know. So I'm not going to say it here again. Because I'm trying to repeat things less as possible. But what he does, but the episodes that go on through it do lead up to the climax, and then we get to the season finale of season 2, which is really good. I actually thought I wasn't gonna like it because it's a typical lesson, but they do stuff where they do the at first. First of all, for spoilers, the main villain Bill Gatz does come back, and this time we get a new main villain called Kevin, who was actually one of a villain in the first season, and he actually comes in as one of the main villains. He actually comes in a few other episodes. And Bill Gatz in at the end of the first season, without spoiling anything, him and Bill Gatz team up to try and get Ben, and Ben sort of had figured out this program on the watch that helped on the Omnitrix that helped him be able to change into alien by name. But I won't spoil anything on what happens, but it is really good way to view his selfishness, and by the end, they really show him doing something selfless and really improve, like in the other episodes. And yeah, this one was very based on Ben's improvement, but Gwen does also get kidnapped a lot, but they address it. They go ahead and mention how she doesn't want to be that, and she wants to be more, and wants more to do more for hero work. They even address it in a couple episodes in like 2 episodes for the series so far. And I do know she does get a power, some sort of superpower by watching some of Alien Force. I do know she does get some power, so I know that's coming up, but I'm glad that they are addressing that, and they're not going to randomly just bring up out of nowhere. And I do hear there's an interesting backstory behind it. I didn't get spoiled on that interesting backstory, but I do know there's an interesting backstory behind it on that whole thing. So I'm interested to see what point that's going to come in for Gwen. And Grandpa Max is probably one of the more, before Grunkle Stan, he's outside of Grunkle Stan, he's one of the most interesting old guy characters. I said old guy, like there's a lot of good old characters who are retired old men who kick ass. And he's a badass. He really knows how to fight. Like, he really helps with guiding Ben to becoming, sort of like mentoring him to become this hero that he's destined to become through the Omnitrix. And while also kicking alien ass as well, he also does capture a lot as well, which I love how they equal that out with Gwen. They're not just damsels who are in the way, they have characters. And Gwen and Ben do fight, because they kind of did it at first just because the whole women are from Mars, men are from Venus thing. Or is it men are from Mars or women are from... I think it's that. Yeah, it's men are from Mars, women are from Venus. They did it kind of because of that, but they really showed that, but because they were cousins and not just Gwen wasn't some love interest, it really worked because that makes sense for a family, like, and the fact that they know each other pretty well, like, it's just a thing like that. Like, family gets into arguments all the time, and I love how they do go into some family issues, like, for example, Gwen gets ticked off when she finds out that her grandfather was lying to them about his real job because he was hiding a secret, having it be a secret. Spoilers again, by the way. But they go into those issues in many ways, and they don't sort of leave them there for another episode, but I kind of like that. Like, it's not just a conflict through one episode. They are going to bring it up later in the series. And they do kind of bring another character, a character from his past in the first episode. I won't spoil who, and I don't know if that character's coming back, but it's an interesting way to view it, and showing how far, like, Max was as a character, how his past was. And it's a good way to do, it's a good upgrade for the first season where they just sort of took the whole hero angle, made it look like he was going to be some early 2000s character, like, product of that time, and really updated his character. Ben was more of the focus in season 2. Like, Max and Gwen had focus, but he was more of the focus, and he is more of the focus in season 2 too, but they are also the focus in this season as well, with the stuff that they go over. And Gwen has to learn lessons too, which I like. They're not all perfect. Like, Max does have these running jokes that makes it kind of weird and boring at times, as you sort of get the idea, like, he's old. Like, but they add an interesting twist to it that makes it a bit more funnier. And it seems like it's just something a part of his character instead of just like, well, it's just sort of used as a running joke, so I won't even say that, but, I mean, it sometimes could be pretty funny. But I think this is a massive update. I want to learn more of the lore. I do want to see, what I do want to see in Season 3 is a bit more of Ben learning about the Omnitrix. Like, maybe a bit more backstory on the Omnitrix. And maybe, like, really go into how, like, and maybe stop some of the bigger lessons, which they're probably not going to do with, like, the whole, like, because they're sort of, like, morals we know. Maybe do something different, like really go into an idea of a villain, maybe humanize a villain a little bit more, like they did with Kevin. I can't say they'll do that, but I do want to see them develop Gwen more. I do want to see that storyline come up with her power, with her getting a power. I'm hoping they'll do that for this season. That would be interesting to do, since I think the first series only has 4 seasons, since Omnitrix sensing Omnitrix starts out in 2005. I'm really interested to see where the series is gonna go, and I really want to see all this happen. Because it's gonna be cool to see. But subscribe to my channel. But yeah, my channel's name is Mr. A. I might as well say this, but there's another music channel on YouTube called Mr. A. If he is watching this, I did not mean to do that. I did not know your channel existed. And there's also Mr. A Games and stuff. If they're watching that too, if it's a group or a person, I did not mean to do that. I did not know you guys existed. I tried to change my channel, but I changed it like 3 times, and it's like doing this weird thing where it's like 90 days. So if you see this, I did not do this intentionally. Do that name intentionally. So I'm sorry. Please do not just strike on my channel for it. I'm trying to change the name, but I don't know, like, trying to change the name. So please do not put a strike on my channel. I just got this up on YouTube a few months ago. I'm still learning. Please. But yeah, I'm still trying to get this through, and I'll see you probably in Season 3. I'm hoping I'll have more for you.